You ever stop to think about how one tiny everyday decision could totally change your financial future? Seriously, we're not talking about some huge stock market bet or a massive career change. We're talking about something as simple as your morning coffee. Okay, let's get into this because we're about to explore a simple story that reveals a pretty powerful truth about money.
So imagine this, you've got exactly 360 Saudi riyals, which is, around $100 US. And that money is set aside for just one daily habit for a whole month. Now, what you do with it might seem like a small deal, but as you're about to see, the path you choose can lead to some wildly different places.
To really see what I mean, let's follow the story of three different people. Now these guys, they all have the same average income, they live a similar lifestyle, and they all start the month with the exact same 360 riyals. The only thing that sets them apart? Their mindset.
So let's meet our three personalities. First, you've got the consumer, who's all about living for today. Then there's the saver, who's always planning for tomorrow. And finally, we have the thinker, who's busy building for the future. Believe me, their approach to that simple 360 riyals is going to change everything.
All right, first up is the consumer. His daily routine is super simple. On his way to work, he pops into his favorite cafe, grabs a specialty coffee for 12 riyals. It's a small pleasure, a little daily ritual. He enjoys the moment, and that's kind of where the thought process ends.
So, fast forward 30 days, what happens? Well, that 12 riyal habit, day in and day out, it adds up. By the end of the month, his entire 360 riyals is just gone. Poof, vanished into 30 cups of coffee. It's a simple and honestly a very predictable outcome.
Okay, now let's meet our second character, the saver. He loves his daily coffee too, and he starts the month off exactly like the consumer. But one day, something different happens. A simple question pops into his head while he's standing in that same cafe, and this one little moment of curiosity, it completely changes his financial path.
He just asks the barista, how much a bag of their coffee beans costs. And then he does some quick math, and the numbers are pretty startling. A single cup is 12 riyals, but a 60 riyal bag of beans makes 15 cups. That means each cup he makes himself costs only 4 riyals. He realizes he's been paying 3 times as much just for convenience.
So, the saver makes a new choice. He buys 2 bags of beans for the month, which costs him a total of 120 riyals. He still gets to enjoy his daily coffee, but now he's got 240 riyals left over. And what does he do with it? He turns it into an asset that can grow, something like a small amount of gold. Smart move.
But wait, there's a third person in our story. He's been sitting in the corner of that same coffee shop, just watching. We'll call him the thinker. He has the same income as the others, but he sees something different. He doesn't just see a personal choice, he sees a whole system at play. He watches the consumer spend, he sees the saver's clever calculation, and a brand new idea starts to click into place.
The thinker decides, I'm going to be a part of this system. He takes his 360 riyals and buys 4 bags of beans for 240. Now 2 of those bags are for his own coffee for the month, just like the saver. But the other 2 bags, he brews them and sells those 30 cups to his colleagues at work for the same 12 riyals they would have paid at the cafe anyway.
Okay, so let's look at the results after 1 month. It's pretty staggering. The consumer has 0. The saver has 240 riyals tucked away in an asset. But the thinker, after selling his coffee, he's brought in 360 riyals. You add that to the 120 he had left over, and he ends the month with 480 riyals. He literally more than doubled his money just by changing his role in the whole equation.
Now, this little story isn't really about coffee, is it? It's a perfect example of the most basic, fundamental principle of economics and business. It's the thing that explains how entire economies tick. So let's break that down.
At the heart of everything is one super simple concept: the transaction. The famous investor Ray Dalio talks about this. It's the building block of everything. It's just an exchange between 2 people. One person has money and the other person has something to sell, a good or a service. That's it.
So here's the crucial point. In every single transaction, money flows from the buyer to the seller. The buyer's money goes down and the seller's money goes up. You see, the consumer and the saver, they were only ever buyers in this story. The thinker decided to also become a seller.
Now you're probably thinking, okay, that's a nice story, but starting a business is really complicated. And look, that's a super common mental block. But the real lesson from the thinker is that you can shift from just being a consumer to also being a producer in really, really simple ways. You absolutely do not need a fancy storefront or a team of employees or a huge pile of cash to get started. So many people get stuck right there, thinking a business has to be this massive, complex thing. But that's not where you have to start at all.
Just look at these simple examples. Do you know 10 friends who love high-quality dates? Well, what if you could find them directly from a farm for cheaper than the supermarket and sell them for a small profit? Or maybe you notice a bunch of colleagues who need a good phone stand for their car. The key is to find the need, find the demand first, and then you just figure out how to supply it. So, at the end of the day, this all comes down to your mindset and how you visualize the flow of money in your own life. Let's actually see what that looks like for our 3 characters.
For the consumer, it's basically a one-way street. Income flows into his account from his salary, and then it flows straight back out to cover all his expenses. Money in, money out. That's the entire loop.
Now, the saver's model, it's a little bit better. Money comes in, and yeah, most of it goes to expenses, but a small piece gets diverted into an investment. This creates the potential for a second, much smaller stream of money to flow back in as a return. It's a huge step in the right direction.
But then you look at the thinker's model. This is where the magic happens. He's got his salary coming in, he's got his investment that could provide a return, but critically, he created a third stream of inflow, his small business. He now has 3 pipes filling his bucket and only 1 draining it.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. It's not just about how much money you make, it's about how you think about the money you have. Wealth isn't just a number in a bank account, it's a way of seeing the world. It's about seeing transactions not just as a way to spend, but as an opportunity to create. So, as we wrap this up, the question to ask yourself is pretty simple. When you look at your own habits, which of these 3 paths do you see yourself on right now? And maybe more importantly, what's just one small, simple step you could take, maybe even starting tomorrow, to begin building the path of the thinker?